Hello, beautiful souls. I thought it was about time that I brought out a video on just what exactly the goddess codes are as I'm launching it in March equinox 2023 again. I feel like I want to start from the beginning. The goddess codes is a very, very sacred and powerful container. I went through many initiations to be able to bring through these templates of consciousness, and that's what it is. I'll start from the beginning. So in 2017, I went to live off-grid in the mountains of Spain. And that's whenever I first came into first contact with the great white lion beings. They told me that I was going to be prepared for something and to hold something very unique and something that I have held for many lifetimes, and that I would be bringing this through. I had no idea at the time what it was or what I was going to be bringing through. All I know is that those 3 months living off grid and the 6 months previous to that was probably one of the deepest initiations I've ever had. I left Ireland, I sold up all my belongings, and I trusted the path. And that was the start of completely surrendering to what it was going to take to actually bring in these templates of consciousness. And so whenever they came to me, it was every evening I was being downloaded with codes, symbols, templates. And many times the goddess Isis, she came to me. I remember this one day I was walking in the mountains alone, and she told me, Saffron, they've moved my temple. And I didn't know what she meant by that until I started to anchor the goddess codes. And so whenever I was pregnant with my son Oso, which was in 2018, I woke up one morning with the words, the goddess codes. And that was the first weekend that I started to bring through my first ever manual and set of codes. And this required me to use light language, totally out of my comfort zone. I have been speaking light language for 13 years. It started in 2010, 2011. I didn't dare speak it to anyone. There was very few people at the time that were really coming out with this language and bringing through these transmissions. And so whenever they brought the goddess codes, they says, now you're going to speak your soul language. And there's going to be many others that you would activate and initiate into speaking their language. Because as we know, the light language is the language of the heart. It's our bridge to our galactic selves, our star selves. And so that was the beginning of the journey. I moved back to Ireland. I was living in Finland at the time. I had an 8-week-old baby and I moved back to Ireland. And again, that was another deep initiation into surrendering into this work, because I was a single mother and it was almost destined to be set up this way that I would stay on this path, because how else was I going to support my son? And at this time, I had many women signing up. It was a beautiful container. I want to say that it was the one thing that was holding me through a really dark period of my life. It was the goddess codes that was holding me up. It gave me purpose, it gave me vision. And the women that were joining me were energetically supporting me as I was supporting them. And so 2021, I had the Lyran beings come to me because they're the guardians of the goddess codes. And they said, you're going to bring in a container. And this is going to be a very, very powerful container. And it's something that you will call your signature goddess codes container. And you might come up against some resistance. And I says, why? And they says, because of the title. And the title is When the Serpent Meets the Rose. And they were not kidding. I came up against a lot of backlash on why would I use the serpent, and the serpent is never meant to meet the rose. And of course, I knew that I had to carry on with this vision. And that was the beginning of me anchoring a very, very profound container. And so just to hash out why they chose this title, When the Serpent Meets the Rose, it was because we were going to move through in 2022, this year, a very, very deep initiation that would require us to be going really, really deep into the goddess, ancient goddess energy. And we know that the serpent is one of the oldest symbols that represents the goddess frequency, but it represents earth, that primal energy, that primordial energy, our kundalini energy. And so they give me the vision, and whenever I say they, I work with many galactics and guides and elementals and dragons. I work as a channel for them to come in. And so they give me this vision of this serpent meeting the rose, and it would be through deep initiations and beautiful transmissions that we would be receiving and anchoring, that we would come up and we would be exalted by the rose. And that would be whenever the cosmic mother would be in full birth on the planet. And that's exactly what took place. So this container works through 3 spirals. The first spiral being working with that beautiful serpent energy, that primordial energy, working with our ancestors, working with the silkies. I don't know if you know anything about the silky beings, but they are creatures that live in the Irish seas and along the UK and the Scottish. They're the seal beings, and many would refer to them as having that mermaid energy. And they brought through a very, very powerful transmission. We had the bone women coming in, and we had that dragon frequency coming in, that real primordial energy that we needed to go through. And there was over 100 women that joined me. And that's normally how my containers work, and I'll explain later on in this video. And so we were to start birthing 13 temples of light. They told me the number 13 being very, very significant. And of course, we have the 13 dragon beings in inner earth, and what needed to happen in that release for this revelation of the exaltation of the cosmic mother. And that is what was taking place. And all of those women and one beautiful divine masculine held this with me and brought this through, and we're still bringing it through. And this was a container for women of revelation. This is for grid workers, wisdom weavers, light weavers. And it is, although it is the goddess codes, it runs very, very differently from a lot of containers out there. This is my legacy work. This is the work that I've been working on for many, many years. It has similar threads to other divine feminine containers out there, but it really is, it moves in a completely different way. The goddess codes is a calling. It's almost like you feel that inner pull to be to join us. There is no hierarchy in my groups. I don't move that way. Yes, I facilitate it. I bring in the transmissions, but every single person that joins me, they're weaving with me. Like, I couldn't do this. There's no way I could do it without these people. And so what happens? What happens in our container? well, magic happens, and there's lots happen. Full integration of your soul gifts. There's something about being in community with like-minded people that amplify who you are. Many of us bring the keys and many of us bring the doors. And if you can imagine, we are weaving in through the grids of consciousness, in through inner earth, in through the universe. It's not just this universe, but many multidimensional universes. And we're regridding and recoding the goddess frequency and what she represents and who she is. Because a lot of that, and I've been getting that for many years, a lot of it's been very distorted. A lot of the rules, lineages were hijacked, implanted. So, you know, I knew that I was going to have a very, very mixed group of people. And so we were going to weave this together. We were going to hold each other and we were going to support each other. And so this container that I am relaunching in March is my legacy container. It is my baby. This is the one that I was getting prepared for to hold for many, many years. Very, very powerful transmissions that come through it. That we have the Melchizedeks coming through, Lemuria, Atlantis. We have lots of different star nations coming in to help and assist. As I say, there's lots of threads that move through the goddess codes. And last year I wanted to change the name, the goddess codes, because I didn't want it to, it doesn't run, you know, with the same threads of a lot of divine feminine containers out there. Of course, we do ritual work and we set up our altar and we dedicate our prayers and offering to the goddess and to the Great Mother. But I also work with beautiful masculine frequencies as well, because we work with the father principle. And as I say, this container came through in 3 spirals. So, and each spiral is so different. And what was to be birthed through each of the people that joined me. And I say people because I want to be open to men and women. For many years, it used to just be women. But as I say, I had one beautiful divine masculine holding us all, bringing in that element of the men needed too. And so I'm very, very open to men joining that, as long as they understand that it is to bring through this mother consciousness, this her template. As I say, you know, we had to go deep, really deep into the core of the earth. We had to work with that serpent energy. We had to cleanse, purify, transmute our own being, earth, and as again, and this spiraling that was to go up to the exaltation of the rose was literally the completion of the cosmic mother birthing through the planet. And that's how big this container is. And I won't play it down. For many years I did play it down. I won't play it down. We do big work in my container. And we work with, again, many beautiful beings. So how does it work? So it works with me bringing through pre-recorded transmissions that have already come through, each very different, working with different frequencies, working with different templates of consciousness. And we have a live that we meet every month, and we have that live. And I wanted to say it's a jackpot live. I never know what's going to come through me, because my team of guides, they have me working that way. It's like I go into the transmission blindfolded, and then they give me through the information, and that's so I don't get in the way, and that there's no interference energy that gets in the way of what needs to be anchored through that transmission. And they are very profound. Then we go through, a few days after that, we go through the pre-recorded transmissions that I have already brought through, which are beautiful. So if you think of it in terms of light attunements, okay? I never say to anyone, I'm giving you my codes. I don't believe in that. I believe everyone that joins the goddess codes has their own set of codes. They bring what they need to that container. I hold space. I hold a very, very powerful space to bring that out of them, to make them come into their own. I want to see everyone winning. And many have went on, and they're very, very successful now in what they've done. And they always thank me for the goddess codes and what I held for them. And that is part of my mission. That's part of why I'm here. And so, you know, these lives, anything goes. They're very powerful. They normally be on the first day of the ceremony that I hold each month. And then we go through these transmissions. Each day that I'm literally guiding you through each of them, you're completely held. There's always insights and activations happening within those days, revelations happening, and it's all in a private container. And so what we are now birthing and in the process of birthing is these ancient temples. This ancient temple consciousness that's coming up through the collective consciousness. But it's birthed through us first. So this is why I say that the goddess code is for the weavers, the light weavers, the grid workers. You know, it's for those that have a very, very ancient call to work with those divine feminine frequencies, to really bring in and anchor who she is. The dragons play a big part in that. I am dragon. And so that plays a big part. I work with that very ancient consciousness. So it has very, very primordial threads running through it. I don't shy away from that. I believe that we need to integrate both. And so this is where the serpent frequency comes in. This is the integration that we need to integrate. This is our power. This is the grounding into who we are, the anchoring into who we are. You know, we just can't purely focus on the light. It's like we have to go through this in waves and spirals. And that's why my work works like this. It's like a spiral of consciousness that keeps up moving through the body and then comes down and anchors through you. Again, we move up through the spirals. And this is the way that my work works through the collective consciousness. And so, yes, it is to be relaunched again in March 23. I never thought it was going to be until I received information from my team of guides a couple of weeks ago that I had to relaunch this. This needed to be relaunched. And it was for the second waivers coming in. It was for the ones who were ready to hold this temple consciousness, too ready to birth these ancient crystalline temples up through them. So the knowledge comes up. Everything that you were is brought to the forefront. We work as a team. This is what we do. We work as a team and we hold each other accountable for showing up, for anchoring, for bringing through their own gifts, for standing in their truth. And this is what we do. And of course, there's beautiful healing that takes place. And so, you know, there's more people out there need to access this container. That's what I'm being told. And this is why they have nudged me along to do this video, something I shy away from, but they've nudged me along to do this video so that, you know, people can have an overview of what it is and why it's called the way it's called. Of course, I got a bit of a backlash about that, but that's okay, because whenever that comes in, I know that I'm on to something, right? You know, so it's like, you know, we had to work with those serpent frequencies. There's nothing dark about that. This is a very, very necessary energy for shedding the old and transmuting the old and that release, and working with those earth energies, working with the Great Mother to be exalted. We are in that exaltation of the cosmic mother, rising up to the rose frequencies, and that can be from the blue, white, red, all of those rose frequencies that many women are holding. You know, we've all come from all of these different lane reaches, the Myria, Atlantis, the Cathars, Avalon. I work with all of those consciousness. They all come in because everyone that is a part of my container holds all of that as well. Medicine women, mystics, oracles, You know, we heal the motherly witches, we work with the witch wound, we work with those threads of consciousness that are still very integrated in women who don't want to be seen, you know, who've hid away, because we know what it is like to be seen. We be persecuted, we be shamed, we be judged. And I've went through that my whole life. And, you know, now I feel like we're all stepping into that leadership role. And I have to be a way shower for that. So I have to allow myself to be seen and come out and say, yes, this is my work. This is what I've worked on for years. And I have to own it all, because it's very, very sacred. It's very potent. I put a lot of time and energy. You have no idea what I go through to anchor this for the planet and anchor this for the people that join my container. You know, it's a complete surrender. I never get a day off. There's always transmissions and always codes that's coming in. I work day and night. But it's worth it whenever I get the communities together, and that's part of my role as well. And that's what the Goddess Codes is. It's a community. And it's very, very necessary for this time to have that community so we can hold each other, because there's lots birthing through this planet. And so this container keeps you aligned with what's coming through, because I'm always bringing in new insights, what's moving through the collective. I'm always bringing in transmissions. My transmissions are absolutely timeless. You know, my team tell me there's no beginning and there's no end to my work. My transmissions there's no sell-by date. They're always very relevant. And each time that an individual listens to my transmissions, there's more that is revealed. Because they call me a talisman. I am the key and I am the door. And that's what I'll activate within a person. And so it's beautiful to be part of that community and to be anchoring into that healing space every month. And people need that. They need that support. They need that consistency. And so this container will be running for 9 months. I will be starting it, as I said, in March. I have set the price that I'm hoping is accessible for everyone. I always work that way. And the reason why I work that way is because I work with large containers. They have me working that way. And so I like to try and keep it accessible for everyone. I couldn't do a monthly subscription with this particular container because all of the manual, there's a beautiful, beautiful ebook that comes with it. And the transmissions, I think there's over 30 transmissions, probably more, probably close to 45, 50 transmissions coming in. And so, yeah, close to 40, they're telling me. There's still more coming through, guys. That's what they're telling me. There's still more coming through. So where I would love to offer this as a monthly prescription, you have to understand that I've already anchored this. There's already so much material in my membership portal. And it's sacred, guys. It took everything in me to bring this through. This was the finale. I've been running the Goddess Codes for 4 years, and this was my finale. This was the legacy of the Goddess Codes coming in. I want to say I've been doing it for 4 years, and they have been preparing me for 4 years to anchor what I anchored this year, and I'm still anchoring, because the team of women that I have anchoring with me at this moment through this course, it finishes in February, which is why I'm bringing it again in March. And so that is the reason why I don't offer monthly prescriptions for this particular container. I have set an installment. I'm hoping that helps you. But of course, please reach out to me if this is really calling you. I really try to help as much people as I can. I will have a sister container starting in the spring as well, probably May, June time, and it is going to be amazing. And of course, you can totally join that as well, because as I say, I try to keep my containers accessible for everyone. It's my gift It's my gift, and I'm always taken care of. And as I say, the nature of my work is to have large teams of people working. And I used to offer it on a monthly basis where people could come and join, and they didn't necessarily have to join the week after or the month after. But what I find with that is there's leaky energy. There's a certain commitment that we all have to step into, and consistency with what we're doing regarding our soul mission and our soul purpose, and even showing up for ourselves and holding ourselves accountable. So I don't offer that anymore, because I am like a mother lion, I'm a lioness about my containers. I like to keep everyone energetically safe and held. Very, very important that anyone that joins my containers, they know that they're committing to the journey ahead, and that there is no leaky energy coming in and out. I just don't work that way, guys, which is why if you're committing to this container, you're in it and you're consistent with it. And it's for yourself, because you're going to elevate so much. You won't be the same person, I can guarantee you that. If you want to go onto my website, you can read the reviews on what I do and how I bring that through. And I'm a very down-to-earth person. I just call it as it is. And I like to make everyone welcome, but I also hold everyone accountable as well, which is why I don't like any leakiness in the sense of joining 1 month and then not joining the next month. It's not going to work. It's not going to work for you, because the Goddess Codes is architectural in the sense of we are architects for the Goddess frequency and the Divine Mother, and also the Father Principle as well. And so we build foundations. That's what we do. And we build structures, and we weave, and we go into timelines, and we close portals, and we bring back any siphoned energy that has been siphoned off regarding our lane reaches. We bring back the true knowledge, and we birth it all through us. So it's quite serious work, but it is absolutely profound work. As I say, you will not be the same person after it. And there is another container that will be a sister container to this, that will absolutely amplify everything that you're moving through, and all the pieces come together. And as I say, the Goddess Codes, it is a calling. You get called. I don't have a clue about marketing. That isn't the way that I've worked. And so anyone that I've had, and there's been hundreds of women up until this point, they've heard the soul call. They've heard the soul call, and they've felt that within them. And they know once they join, they're like, I'm in the right container. Like, I've been searching for this. And I pride myself on that, because I've worked very, very hard to create this, and to create a safe container, safe energetic container for everyone to elevate and heal and grow together and feel supported and held. And of course, working with all of these beautiful beings of light. We work with the archangels, the elementals, star teams, our own ascension guides, and they're always coming in and weaving. As I say, the lives, I never know who's coming in. They keep me in suspense, and they take the blindfold off once I go into the transmission. And it works that way, because then there's no infiltration, there's no ego getting in the way, and I just be that pure light channel. And they're very healing as well. So, of course, if you feel that you resonate with everything that I've said here, please head on over to my website. And if you're on my website, take a look and join. I would love you to join me. It is, as I said, launching in March. And what I find is the minute that you pay with commitment, that's the sign, that's the sacred yes to the universe. That's whenever the magic starts happening, whenever you commit to something. And that can happen months before we even continue, So you can sign up now, and you will be in that container. I will have you down as joining us in March. But please take your time thinking about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and everyone that has joined me in the past for the Goddess Codes, and everyone who's still on this path with me. Thank you so much. This is not possible without any of you. And as I said, there was a reason why I stopped the monthly coming in and out, and I hope I explained that well to everyone, because what I used to do in the past had to change because we needed to get level up, and this is what this container is. This is serious leveling up, and it's all about, you know, change, elevation, and our own ascension path, growing and expanding. There's so much that moves through. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and I hope to see you in March.